If you're a serious angler, then there's a good chance that you could benefit from having a heading sensor installed on your system, on your network. You know, a regular GPS is fine in terms of telling you where you're at, but it doesn't tell you the direction you're facing, at least not when your boat is moving very slowly or when you are stopped. And you probably noticed this beforehand. If, let's say, you marked some waypoints on some brush piles or some rock, and you pull up with your trolling motor and you put your trolling motor in spot lock or anchor mode, and then all of a sudden your graph starts spinning. Well, to prevent that from happening, you can install a heading sensor like this Point-1 from Lowrance. And of course, Humminbird has their own type as well as Garmin. But that will keep your graph from spinning. Now, sure, you could set your fish finder to north up mode, but to me, that is not very intuitive. And so that's why we're going to go ahead and install this today. So in today's video, I'm going to walk through the setup, the installation and setup of this and how to calibrate it. And I'll point out any challenges or issues that I experience along the way. But before we get into that, I just want to show you why it is beneficial to have a heading sensor in the first place.
So let me show you why you need a heading sensor. I create a waypoint on my graph that marks that stump right there. And you can see it right here on my fish finder. And as long as the boat is moving, it knows exactly where it's at. Right now, directly off to my right.
So now I've got the boat in anchor mode, and you can still see that stump off to my right-hand side in the island in the background. But if you look on the graph, it's showing both the stump and the island off to my left. So again, that's another reason why you need a heading indicator. And you can see it spinning because it doesn't know exactly which direction we are facing. Okay, so before we get started with the installation, I should point out that a prerequisite to adding a heading sensor to your boat is to have a NMEA 2000 network already installed. Well, what's NMEA 2000? Well, if you wanted to connect similar items, so a NMEA 2000 is a way to connect dissimilar items to one another. So if you just wanted to have one fish finder, one Lowrance fish finder talk to another, you could easily do that through a network cable because there's similar kind of devices that use similar kind of data. But when you have dissimilar items, such as you want your trolling motor to talk to your fish finder, to a heading sensor, perhaps even your engine, that's when you need a NMEA 2000 network. What that is NMEA is kind of a standard or universal protocol to share information that different manufacturers agree to. And so that information could be used across different platforms. And so a prerequisite to adding your heading sensor is to have a NMEA 2000. That will enable your heading sensor to talk to your fish finder in this particular case. So I'm not going to go through how to set up a NMEA network on your boat, but it's actually not too difficult. The most challenging part is just running your cable. So in my case, I've got the cable running from the bow to the console. So you got to run your cable there, and then you connect it to a power source. So in this case, I put it into my panel down there. And then after that, it's actually just as simple as for every device you want to add, you attach it to one of these T connectors. So you have your drop cable coming from your device that plugs in here. And the other two just plug into what they call the backbone of the NMEA network. And you can keep expanding this for every device you want to have. It's really simple. So you just plug it in there and you're good to go. So what I suggest you do is you get a NMEA 2000 starter kit. That'll come with most of the ingredients that you need. And I think the one I bought came with 2 T connectors like this. But bear in mind, one of those is used for the power cord. So you only have one optional item available, which means you can only attach one device. So if you have 2 devices, you'll need to buy an extra T connector and make sure you've got a drop cable for that too. So just bear that in mind so you have all the things that you need. Okay, so now on to the installation. One of the first things you need to figure out is where to install the heading sensor. And the heading sensor is a little round puck. It looks kind of like that trolling motor compass that you see at the bow. It's actually about the exact same size. A lot of people say that you should put it as close to the transducer as possible. And that makes sense if you are planning on using it for your GPS and in addition to being a heading sensor, but that's not how I plan to use it. Instead, I plan on using the GPS built into my fish finders for the GPS for waypoints, and I want to use the .1 strictly as my heading sensor. So you don't need to have it close to the transducer in that scenario. Instead, the most important thing to keep in mind is you want to locate it in a location, you want to put it in a location that is void of much magnetic interference. And so what you want to do is, if you have a compass, you can move your compass around on your boat and see if it changes direction, if it jumps a little bit in different areas. That tells you there's some interference. Or you can download a magnometer, and I'll leave an image, a screen grab of the one that I use. And so you just slide around your boat in the different locations where you're thinking of placing it and look to see if the magnetic interference changes very much from place to place, and if your compass jumps too when you do that. So I'm not putting it at the front of the boat. That's often not a good idea because, again, you can get a lot of interference from that fish finder and that trolling motor up there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put mine in the back here. And again, as I get close to the engine, you can get a little bit of interference there too. I'm actually going to put it right here behind this hatch. And the reason for that is I'd like to put it right behind that seat, but I don't want blocking its view of the satellites. So I need to put it back a little bit, and I'm going to be putting it right there. I don't want to put it all the way back because you can kind of see the floor is already damp. I've got a big engine on this boat. This is a Tracker 195TX, and it normally comes with a 115, but 150 is a max, which is what I've got, and I'm thrilled with that. But one of the downsides, it's a bit heavier, and when you back down after being on plane, if you back down too quickly, you'll get some washover. And so, because that area gets very wet, I want to move it a little bit further up. And so that's where I'm going to put it. And by the way, one last thing, when you're checking for that magnetic interference, do it on the water with your engine on and your electronics on, okay? Because that's going to show you when you might have interference when your items are running.
Okay, so now let me just show you what comes in the box here. Your .1 GPS antenna / heading sensor. So here it is. This is just like a little, it's about the size of a hockey puck. You got a short cable on it, and then they give you an extra cable over here that you can extend it, and all that will connect to is your NMEA 2000 network that we talked about earlier. Now they also give you this little pole if you want to elevate it, and I think that's more for bigger boats, saltwater boats, that kind of thing. Won't need that in my boat. And they also have a template, a mounting template. And but I should point out, you can see there's a little, it's hard to tell here, there's a little arrow pointing forward. So that should be pointing forward in line with the keel or the center line of your boat when you go to mount it, okay? And one other thing too, that comes, you could bury the cable through your deck and bring it out, but I'm not going to have an easy way to access underneath where I'm mounting this. So I'm just going to keep the cable on the surface. So they've got this little notch right here. Unfortunately, it's on the left side of the unit, so I'm going to need to put it into there and just curl it back, and then go to that side channel there, and then up to the console area to tie it into the NMEA. So that's what we're dealing with. But if you're wanting to mount it in fiberglass and you want to get that cable nice and neat and tucked underneath, you can cut out this template. And it's got, of course, your screw mounting holes and then the bigger hole to get the cable down through that. But since I'm doing it on a wood deck on an aluminum boat, I'm not going to need to use this template. I can just do it from screwing the screws from above, and so it should be pretty straightforward.
Okay, just a quick update. I have mounted the heading sensor, or the puck, and my first little challenge is that my deck of my boat, of this Tracker, is actually not wood, but it's metal, and that's a good thing. But the unfortunate thing is that bent the head of the screw, so I had to replace that. But anyway, that's a good thing overall. And so now what I need to do is run that cable all the way up to my console. You can see you've got about a 3-foot cord, and I need about 5 feet. So they give you this extra cable, which will be overkill in my case, but it'll get the job done. So I just need to attach that cord, run that up through there, and then we'll be able to connect it to the network. Okay, so I've got the cord pulled all the way through, and I've bound it up for now. I'm going to put some zip ties when I'm done to make this nice and neat. All I need to do now, and it's going to be hard to do this on camera, so I'm going to just tell you what I'm going to do, is I'm going to connect the T connector onto this end, and then I'm going to attach that here into the backbone of the NMEA network. And so you can see there's 2 connectors on there now. But when I've attached this, you'll see 3. So very simple. So now you can see the network with the 3 connections now. The one on the right side goes to this fish finder here. The middle one is the where I just added the heading sensor, the 0.1 heading sensor, and then the far one is actually the power goes down to the panel down below where that little you can see a little fuse there. So that's all complete. All we need to do is close this up, make sure it's recognized on the system, and then take it out in the water and calibrate it. Okay, so now that I've got everything closed back up, it's time to check to see whether our 0.1 heading sensor is recognized on the network. So to do that, again, this is for a Lowrance. Press the pages, go to the settings gear, and you want to go to network here, data sources. And now let's look at vessel, heading, and you can see it shows the 0.1. And then these other things too are also going to 0.1. So all the vessel information is defaulting to the 0.1. So it is recognizing that. Now, what is interesting is as I look at this GPS, it's defaulting to the HDS Pro 10, which is this unit right here, which is exactly what I wanted it to do. So it's going to take the GPS from this, but the heading sensor will come from the 0.1 that we just installed. So that's just perfect. It's a pretty smart system. It defaulted just the way I wanted it to.
Okay, so the last step of the process is you need to calibrate your unit. So to do that, again on the Lowrance, click on Pages, go to Settings, and then to Network, Device List. Okay, so now you've got a 0.1 down here. Let's click on that. And then you've got the option to calibrate. So we'll click that. And then it says, press calibrate, start rotating the vessel, complete a 390-degree rotation in approximately 130, a little over 2 to 2.5 minutes, and 2 to 3 minutes, and maintain a rate of turn of 2 to 3 degrees. So we will start that process. And it's showing me my rate of turn. I'm too, I gotta flatten it out a little bit. There we go. And you obviously want to do this on in an area where you've got plenty of open space, and that it's not too windy. Okay, so I just did the calibration. It says calibration okay, so we know we did it successfully. So now the last step is to test it out and see if it works.
Now, one last thing I need to point out, before you start using your heading sensor, there are some settings that you need to set. So to do that, you go to the Pages button, click on the settings gear, scroll down till you get to Network, and then Device List. Find your 0.1 and then click on Configure. Now, by default, this Enable WAAS, MSAS, EGNOS was set to off. So you want to make sure that you turn that on. Likewise, this course over ground, speed over ground filter was set to off, and so you can set to low. I think that just kind of smooths out so it's not so jumpy. So you can play around with that, but I've got it set to low. So now that we have that in place, let's see how well this system is working. So we'll go back to our graph. Okay, so there's the waypoint that I put the other day, and you can see it's off to the right hand side and a little bit behind us right there along with the island. And so it's doing a pretty good job of showing us, pretty accurately where that's located, and much better than before. You may recall before I put in the 0.1, it was showing that waypoint, that log, off to the left side of the boat, and as well as the island. So it's improved that a great deal. Now, I should also point out too that a consumer grade GPS is not 100% accurate. I think the error range is like 10 to 20 feet or so. So, but it's going to get you, having that heading sensor will help you get a lot closer to the target than before. So that is how you install and set up your Lowrance Point-1 heading sensor. If you do that, it's going to really up your offshore fishing game. Well, if you like this video and found it helpful, do me a favor and click on that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel to get my weekly tips and insights for boaters. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the water.